Positive Anime Reviews is a review show that is designed for people who aren't very picky about their anime, like me. Most anime I watch ends up in my 5 out of 5 category. My reviews are for those people who are looking for a reason to watch anime rather than hate on it. I am willing to give any and all anime a chance before stating my opinion. Lastly, my reviews are all my opinion and might or most likely won't match yours. If you don't agree, that's totally fine. Just be respectful in the comments section. Thank you. And as always, possible spoiler warning ahead. Hey guys, Darth Clerk here, back with another positive anime review. Today we will be talking about My Love Story. So, I mean, that's not my personal love story, that's the name of the anime, but of course this anime is known much better by its Japanese name, but of course I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that because I will destroy it. So, in order to respect its title, I will just pronounce it in English, and I will of course leave the Japanese name in the description. Because, believe me, it'll be incredibly helpful. So, as far as... let's go out. I'm switching lists here. Okay, so obviously we are reviewing My Love Story. So before we hop into the rest of this, obviously it has been quite a distance since my last positive anime review. The reasons for that are twofold. The first reason is because this last week was really busy for me. There was a lot going on at the same time. I was having tech problems with everything, and then I started school, started college, and so it's just there was a lot going on. Anyway, so there was a lot going on there. And so that's the first reason. The second reason why it took so long is because this anime is not 12 episodes. It is 24. So it is longer than the anime I have previously reviewed. Now, of course, most of the anime I watch is 12 episodes long, but that's not to say this isn't the longest anime I've ever seen or anything. And because, I watch Naruto at some point. So, so obviously this is not the longest anime I've ever seen. But it's a good one. So obviously it takes longer, and of course, at different times, I often watch 12 episode anime, but of course there is lots of anime that is great that's not 12 episodes. So there will be times when my reviews get fewer as I watch longer animes, but I probably won't. Well, I'm not saying I promise I won't, because it might happen, you never know. But I probably won't watch too many big animes in a row. But of course, that really just depends on the mood of whatever anime I'm watching. So anyway, happy to be hopping on the train again. So as far as hopping into this actual review, as far as when this anime aired, this is from spring of 2015. So it's not, it's obviously not incredibly new. I guess it's now 4 years old. But it's amazing. So let's continue on. So I don't know if there's a dub. That's part of my list. Is normally I will tell you if there's a dub if I know, but I don't know. And if there is, I haven't seen it. So I guess that's all there is. Now, as far as is this a manga adaptation? I believe so. Hang on, I'm checking this other window here. Is this some? Yes, it is an adaptation from a manga. How about that? So yeah, this is a manga adaptation, which at some point I am gonna have to read. I really should read the manga. I think I don't know if it's different. That's what I'd be curious to know. Is it really different from the anime? Is there just more? So anyway, at some point I should probably read that. So as always, we will be starting off with the synopsis because it is just the easiest way to sum up anything, and it's easier than listening to me attempt to explain it. So synopsis, here we go. With his muscular build and tall stature, Takeo Goda, man, with my stutter, that's brutal, is not exactly your average high school freshman. However, behind his intimidating appearances hides a heart of gold, and he is considered a hero by the boys for his courage and chivalry. Unfortunately, these traits do not help much with his love life, as if his looks are not enough to scare the opposite sex away. Takeo's cool and handsome best friend and constant companion, Makoto Tsunokawa, finally easily steals the hearts of the female students, including every girl Takeo has ever liked. When Takeo gallantly saves cute and angelic Rinko Yamato from being molested, he falls in love with her instantly, but suspects that she might be interested in Tsunokawa. With his own love for Yamato continuing to bloom, Takeo unselfishly decides to act as her Cupid, even as he yearns for his own love story. So there you go. Obviously, it's a romance, which is no surprise. I watch the almost disturbing amount of romances. So there it is. But moving on into rating, as far as how clean or dirty this anime is, I would say, I mean, the one on the site says it's PG-13, and I guess I could agree with that, but it's like borderline PG. You know what I mean? But going past that, there's nothing dirty in this anime. The quote unquote dirtiest thing in the anime is in the beginning when, as they mentioned, this girl Rinko Yamato was being groped by this dude in the train, but it's not dirty. It doesn't go into crazy detail. It's just enough so you know this dude's a scumbag and that our main dude Takeo is gonna go rip his face off. Okay, but it did its job. It didn't go into detail. It didn't have to. You get the idea, and that's literally it. After that, there's like nothing dirty in the anime, so it's incredibly clean. I guess I would probably give it a PG-13, but barely. It's like, and mostly just so you're old enough to appreciate it. Mostly, I mean, it's not even that it's dirty. It's just that like if you're too young, you might not even appreciate how fun it is. So I don't know, something like that. So moving on into genre, of course, like I said, this is a romance. Now it's listed as comedy here, and I guess that there is funny parts, and it is kind of enough to make you smile, but it's not like, laugh out loud like stand-up comedy or anything. So it's romance is what I would say, because that's the only real reason anyone's showing up for this is because of the romance. So season length, I did mention this already, but it is a 24 episode anime, and the episode duration is exactly what you'd expect. This one says it's at 22 minutes, so it's it's right exactly what you would expect. And that is very, very simple. So, yeah, I'm just checking my list here, making sure. So, the other thing is there anything after each episode? Because after the closing, song of each anime, some animes show something afterwards that's, continues plot. Most of the time, no. Most of the time, there is not something afterwards. However, the only times you have to keep an eye on it is because sometimes, if the anime ends too soon, like if the closing song rolls and you see the time and you have 3 minutes left, scroll to the end, because that means there's something else afterwards. And I think of only 1 or 2 of the episodes did have something afterwards, but mostly no. And like I said, just look at the time. If you're 3 minutes away or whatever, scroll down. If you're 1 minute and 15 seconds, don't bother, you're not missing anything. The only thing after each episode is a preview into what's going to happen in the next one, but I don't count those as something you need to see, because odds are you'll just watch the next episode. So it's I don't see the point in that. The only reason that would be helpful is if you were watching it live or something, and it was a weekly show. It's so if you're watching it when it was originally coming out and stuff, that would be helpful. But I don't watch anything as it comes out, so that's never helpful for me. Anyway, so moving into our character list. Now, this is going to be incredibly simple for this one because our main character list is very, very small. Very small. At only 3 characters. And so they're the only 3 that I will be talking about. I will only talk about the main 3. There's a lot of supporting characters, but none of them are very hard to remember. Most of them, they get tiny support roles, but they only get a couple of episodes where that initial mini quote unquote drama happens, but then it gets resolved in the next episode, every time, and then they move on with the overall plot. And so there's nothing bad ever happens. It's long term. You know what I mean? And so it's not something you ever have to worry about. So our main character list is very, very small. So going into our first character here, of course, we have Takeo Goda. He is the giant dude, and he is a freshman in high school, despite the fact that he's 6'5" or something. And despite the fact that he's a giant, he is just really nice. He's really nice. He's really caring. But things are really hard on him because his best friend, which we're not talking about quite yet, but his best friend Tsunakawa, which is his last name, but Takeo always calls him by his last name, and he only says his first name once, and then it's this funny scene. And and earlier I did make it sound like it wasn't that funny, but there is a lot of funny parts in this anime that did make it sound that are really sweet or really funny. There is actually, I'm actually thinking about when I was watching it, there is a few scenes that I literally laughed out loud. So there is actually some really, really funny scenes in the anime, and that's coming from someone who doesn't flip out over comedy. I rarely watch a anime that's an actual comedy anime. You know what I mean? And so there was a few scenes in the anime that did make me laugh out loud that I was dying because I was laughing so hard. So there was a couple of really, really funny scenes. So I actually realized I misspoke and made it sound like it wasn't funny, but it actually was, so don't worry about that. Anyway, so talking about Takeo. So Takeo is our main character. The story follows him. Now, his buddy is the ladies' man, but Tsunokawa does nothing. He's really good looking and all the girls love him. But Tsunokawa's not particularly interested because he hasn't clicked with anybody, and there is other reasons and stuff, but that's all spoiler material, and so you'll see when you, if/when you watch the anime. But, going past that, so Takeo has had lots of girls that he's liked, but none of them has worked out. And it explains why, and it's really sweet. But anyway, so he has liked a lot of girls over the years, and Tsunokawa and him have been friends since kindergarten or something. So they've been friends a very, very long time. Anyway, and so, but nothing has ever worked out for Takeo. But then he meets Yamato, and he likes her. Now, you can obviously just assume what's going to happen there, but I'm not going to go into it. But basically, Yamato is Takeo's love interest. She is the one that he likes, and whether or not she likes him, you'll have to stay tuned and see. Anyway, so moving on into our next character, we have Makoto Tsunokawa. He is, of course, Takeo's best friend, and he's actually a really good dude, because just despite the fact that he's good looking and all the girls hit on him, genuinely, he's actually a good friend. He's a good friend. He's a good guy. He is always there supporting Takeo. There's a few times in the anime where he has a crisis, and Takeo is always there for him, and their, best friendship is just enough to be like, that's so sweet! That's a bromance. It's so cool. Anyway, so it's just nice to see a genuinely good person, because in today's world, there's a lot of shallow people, right? There's a lot of people that are always for their own, that always have their own... They're not necessarily good friends. It's hard to find just a genuinely good person, more and more. Well, Tsunokawa is just a genuinely good person. He's always there for Takeo and Yamato later on, and he's just a great guy. He's really quiet. Is that Takeo is in personality? Takeo is he's more loud, and he doesn't really notice the small things very much, and some things that are simple for other people aren't simple for him, and then vice versa. And so he's often very different from everyone else around him, and so because of that, he has some struggles. Like I said, he's not very observant. He doesn't notice little things. Some things he doesn't really get. Well, Tsunokawa is the other way, where Tsunokawa is very, very quiet, and he is very observant, and he notices a lot of things, but there are things that he's not maybe as good at as Takeo. So they have their own strengths, but they complete each other in a really cool way. They're best friends, and it's awesome. And so our last and final main character is, of course, Rinko Yamato. Now, Takeo calls her Yamato up until, really, really late in the anime, and I'm not going to get into why, and it's its own thing, and it's really sweet and heartfelt, and it's awesome. But Yamato is really sweet. She's just a really nice person. And she is adorable. There's so many times in the anime where I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. It's so adorable. So Yamato is really nice, really sweet. After her and Takeo meet and they start talking a little bit, the more that her personality shines through and you get to know her, the better off the better off you are. You like her more and more, and she's awesome. And I don't want to go into too much, because if I talk too deeply about her, then it'll spoil lots of things that happen in the anime. And I'm really trying. This is not one of my reviews where I have to spoil anything. So Yamato's a great person. She's really sweet, really nice, and perfect for Takeo when things develop. Anyway, but basically that's it. There is a lot of supporting characters, but all of them are short-lived. They're introduced and whatever, but they're all supporting characters and nothing we have to talk too deeply about. But overall, so let me hop back on over to my little list cheat sheet. So before we get there, favorite, most hated characters is next. My favorite character, I don't know. See, this is a hard one because the characters are all really good. My favorite character is probably Takeo. Obviously he's the main character, but I don't know. It's hard that all three are really good, but I especially love Takeo and Yamato. Obviously it's no secret. It's a romance that they get together. I won't go into specifics. I won't go into how it goes. They get together. It's a romance. Everyone knows that. All right. So because to talk anymore, it's really hard to tiptoe around that. They get together. I'm not going to go into all the details. You should watch it to learn all the details. But they're really, really adorable for each other. They're perfect for each other. After things develop, and there is drama that develops, but it's not long and grindy and gut-wrenching and last the whole anime like a lot of animes do. Like a lot of romance anime where it's harder to find a romance that's just simple and pretty much drama-free, because there is drama in the anime in here, but it's always short. It never lasts more than like 2 episodes. You know what I mean? It's always very short-lived anime. And there is moments that you're just like, oh, like it's just like the feels, but it's so short. It always passes really quickly. So it's borderline drama-free, and that's why it's nice, because it's just an adorable anime. And I'll go into a little more details in a second. Now, the other one I have is most hated characters. I didn't have anybody I hated. There was a couple supporting characters I didn't love. There is one that I like him the least, but I mean, again, none of them are bad. There is no character you hate. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, you can just move on. Now, animation and music. This anime is very pretty. The animation style is really, really cool. And it's really, really colorful. And the colors are very, very vibrant, and I really, really like that. Because obviously it's a romance, but it's like, it's not, the colors are very, very vibrant and very pretty, and when they switch from like funny moments of like the adorable like funny animation, it's one but still pretty. But then when they go like serious and the animation is like they're having a serious moment, it's still pretty. It's great. Now, as far as music, the music in the anime, I don't recall anything too crazy. The opening and closing songs are really cute. The opening song especially fits the overall feel of the anime perfectly, and I really liked that. That it really sets you up. It's adorable, but you know, it's cute. It fits the anime. It's perfect. So before we get to final rating and recommendation, what's basically good about this anime is that it's really sweet. Maybe that's the word. It's very sweet. Is that it's very cute. It's very sweet. If you just want an anime that's just gonna make you be like, that's so cute, then this is the anime for you. Because it is a romance, and it's just, and everything, it all works out. There's a happily ever after. I won't go into details, but there is a happily ever after, and it's just nice to have something that's just sweet and heartfelt, and there's not crazy amounts of drama or like unnecessary heartbreak or whatever. There is lots of really good moments. There's a couple of heavy moments for sure, but they pass, and they don't leave like a bitter taste in your mouth like some do. You know, that it gets resolved, but you're okay with it. You know what I mean? That it doesn't wear on you, which is great. So the best thing about this anime is just the relationship between Yamato and Takeo. You stay for that. They're just one of the greatest couples in romance anime. You know, they're just one of the greatest couples that once things develop and stuff, and it's just really adorable. It's just so good. It's very, very sweet, and I 100% recommend it. So going into final rating and recommendation, final score, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 5, one of my favorites. This anime is one of my favorites, and I love it. So, absolutely, this is just such a good anime. Now, this was a rewatch. This is one of the animes that I watched forever ago, and at the time, I didn't have a 6 out of 5 rating at the time. So, in my little paragraph, like my little few sentences or paragraph that I wrote back in the day when I originally watched it, was I wrote like this absolutely needs to go in like my top 10 anime list, like, because at the time I didn't have like a 6 out of 5 list, you know what I mean? I didn't have a favorites list, so because of that I gave it a 5 out of 5 because at the time that was the best I could give. But then much later I developed a 6 out of 5, and then when I did, that 6 out of 5 list obviously started to grow. So then because of that, I mentioned this before, that now I'm having to rewatch everything I've ever watched pretty much to reevaluate scores. Like, do I hate it like I used to? Or do I love it or do I love it? Like, does this deserve to be bumped up to a 6 out of 5? Or is a 5 out of 5 still accurate? Or whatever. Well, this is one of the anime that I rewatched it because I knew just from when I immediately started it that this was going to be a 6 out of 5. Like I said at the time, it was only 5 out of 5, but then I rewatched it and I knew absolutely from episode 1 that this was going to be bumped up for sure. I just wanted to watch it, get through it, just so I could, you know, like, confirm. So I absolutely did that. So definite favorite material. It's just such a great romance. It's just so heartfelt, and the connection between Takeo and Yamato is undeniable after like the first whatever episode where episode or two where things are getting resolved and things are developing and stuff. And they're one of the greatest couples in anime. Their connection is undeniable, and it's just really, really sweet. So as far as recommendation is concerned, of course I recommend it. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. Now, if you would like it, I think you would like it because it's a great romance. If you are the type of person that you like romance anime, like for whatever reason I seem to, and you like romance, you have to watch it. I totally recommend it. Now, if you're looking for whatever a nitty gritty, like deep, like dark palette romance, this isn't the romance. That is not this one. But if you're not that like weirdly into dark romance or anything, like this is perfect. It's a really sweet watch. You'll get through it and you'll be like, that was adorable. I totally have to own that. And I 100% recommend it. And if you would like it, that's why. If you're into romance, you're into things that make you go, aw, then this is the anime for you. So yeah, that is going to call it for this one. It's pretty, it's very self-explanatory. This anime is just really good, and I can't recommend it enough. So, I am not 100% positive what I'm going to watch next after this. I haven't thought about it at all because last night I realized I was actually 4 episodes away, not 3. And so I was like, okay, well, I don't have time to watch 4 before I should sleep. So I watched 2, and then as soon as I got up, I watched the next 2. So that way I could get you your review today. So I could do the review right now. So now that I've done that, my obligation is complete. No, I'm kidding. So now that I did that, I was able to get out this positive anime review today, which of course I'm very, very happy about. And yeah, so that I'm pretty stoked that I was able to finally get this one out for you guys. And then right after this, I will be recording part 6 of our Imperial Agent playthrough. I did level up last night, so our levels is higher than it was last night, so we should be good to go. And yeah, I mean, we're a little low possibly, but yeah, I think we should be probably good to go. Anyway, and so yeah, we'll hop into that right after this. And but if you're seeing this, then at some point after this review is the next part of our Imperial Agent playthrough. Anyway, that is going to call it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.